The Open Road Sales Podcast presents Women in Business, 5 women, 5 unique stories. Subscribe to us on YouTube at the Open Road Network. Follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Join the Open Road as we discuss 5 women and 5 unique stories in our Women's in Business series. On today's show, what's in the news? 6 ways to reboot your brain, Ashley Baumann, Beat the Rob, and the 5 best note-taking apps of 2021. Now, buckle up, get ready as co-hosts Jonathan Turner and Robert Gallagher take you down the open road. Well, good morning. My name is Jonathan Turner. Welcome back here to episode number 14 here of the Open Road Sales Podcast. Premiere, sir, every Wednesday morning live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Maybe one day, please, LinkedIn, please allow us to go live. We're asking very nicely. I've been applying almost every week now for the last 14 weeks, but I digress. Good morning, Mr. Robert Gallagher. How are you doing this morning?
Fantastic, John. How you been?
I'm in good, man. Just a moment ago, we were talking about healthcare in this country. That's a dialogue we can talk about all day long for the next 16 years. But Today, we're not going to discuss that, are we, Robert?
No. And are we going to have the COVID conversation again? Can we finally skip that for a week?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, hey, today's a big day here in the U.S. It's Inauguration Day. Mr. Joe Biden will become the 46th president of the United States. Outlining anything crazy happening here today at the Capitol in Washington, but that's supposed to happen today. Trump will not be there. He will not be in attendance this morning or this afternoon, whenever I think it's at noon when they actually do the actual inauguration itself, but he will not be there. But we have got a great show lined up for you today, guys. I'm really, really excited. We're gonna be talking with Ashley Baumann here. She's a health and wellness coach. Unbelievable story about where she's come from in her last 9 years and what she's doing today as part of her role as a health and wellness coach. So we're going to have her here in our second segment. In our first segment today, we're talking about things that will help you reboot your brain here in 2021 as a result of what happened in COVID, right? COVID is really, really screwed with our brains, so to speak, here. And there's a great plan here that we'll talk about here to help reboot your brain. We have Beat the Rob today, which is always fun. Rob, you've won the last 2 weeks in a row here. Hopefully, Ashley will kick the crap out of you. So that's our goal today. And then obviously we'll wrap the show up if we still have time with the 5 best note-taking apps of 2021. And these are the tools that we utilize every day to take good notes and help remember all the things that we need to remember as part of our stuff. But before we do that, the open road. Let's take a look at our newest commercial here that just came out yesterday. Take a look. The Open Road Network was created to give the amateur podcaster a voice in a very noisy and complicated world. The goal of the network is to motivate, it's to inspire, it's to challenge, it's to entertain our viewers as well as our hosts. The Open Road Network is an idea where we get away from that professional $1 million voices that are out there and start listening to the people who are everyday Americans who want to have a voice and want to be able to make an impact. So tune in every single day here on the Open Road Network as we are continuing to introduce new shows that are aimed to motivate, inspire, challenge, and entertain. The Open Road Network was created with the intent to provide amateur podcasters with the platform to make a difference, to inspire, to motivate, to entertain, and to challenge. Visit YouTube at the Open Road Network if you're already doing that. Click that subscribe button, hit the bell so you're notified every time we go live. If you haven't followed us on Facebook, please do so at the Open Road Network on Facebook. We're also at Twitter at the Open Road Live. And check us out. The opportunity for us to have a voice, as Rob calls this, the people's platform, to be able to have conversations that are, again, designed to motivate, inspire, challenge, and entertain. And I'm excited about the direction of this network, and I know you are too, Rob.
Yeah, it's great. I love we've said it before, right? This started as a crazy idea, you and I doing a sales podcast once a week.
Yeah.
And it didn't take very long for it to morph into all of this. And, it's your life's mission now to make this platform successful and to make it go and to provide that platform for other people to come in and have a voice, right?
Yeah. No, there's no question about that. But we got to move forward here and push forward here because lots going on right now in the news. So let's hop in the news right now. Okay, so news. Trump last minute pardons include Banyan, Lil Wayne, and scores of others. That's right. Today, this morning, as part of one of his last tasks as president of the United States, he went ahead and pardoned 73 people and commuted 70 sentences. This batch was issued in the final hours of his presidency, which was expected, and is keeping in the long-standing presidential tradition of exercising clemency powers in the last minute of your presidency. So the list is pretty long. I mean, if you don't know who Kwame Kilpatrick is, that was the old mayor of Detroit. That guy was, my God, that guy was his knee deep in in problems, and he got commuted today or pardoned. He had a 30-year sentence, only served 7 years. He'll be leaving prison here shortly. Steve Bannon, I think he was just charged with election fraud here recently, and now he's obviously been pardoned. Trump did not pardon anyone in his own circle, as far as family and things like that, with the advice of his counsel and stuff like that. He just opted not to do it. So, but that's what happened here overnight, man. Thoughts?
I I don't know. I mean, everything at this point is kind of just, washing out, moving forward. See what happens. He gave his walk away speech, I guess you'll call it, last night. I listened to most of that. Um, Melania gave a presentation like 7 or 8 minutes, and within the last couple days, and it was, hey, we're happy how everything went, and we appreciate the support that we did have, and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
So I guess right now my eyes are fixed on what happens today. We don't normally have 25, 30,000 armed troops at the Capitol for the inauguration, especially in a year where attendance is basically zero because of the virus. That's interesting. Um, Heard a couple things on the fringe. My tinfoil hat side. It's piqued my interest. I don't
yeah,
know what's going to happen. Like every other day, I wake up, find out what the hell's going on, and find a way to survive it. Right.
yeah.
That's what we do. That's our job in life, is to figure out how to move forward. So at this point, it's all kind of whatever. See what 12 o'clock p.m. brings today. Something big might happen. It'll probably be nothing, just like always. The whole political climate over the last 15, 20 years has just turned into a big nothing burger, and nothing's
Yeah.
really impressed me. So whatever.
Well, as always, though, on the Democratic side, where Joe Biden will be inaugurated today,
Yeah.
he'll be sworn in. He's got a star-studded lineup for people singing. Lady Gaga singing the national anthem.
Hmm.
We've got Garth Brooks and Jennifer Lopez will also perform. Bruce Springsteen, John Legend, Demi Lovato, and others will perform from an iconic locations during a 90-minute live stream special event hosted by none other than Tom Hanks here this evening at 8:30 p.m.
Be interesting.
So it's as always star-studded, which is cool, I guess. So we'll be seeing that performance here later this afternoon and this evening. So exciting. Okay, so here's the deal. We talk about dumb moments of the week. I'm a big fan of dumb moments of the week. I know you two are, Rob. Last week we talked about how this lady hit you, and you hit her, but
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
came out and got in front of you. She didn't have insurance on her car, so therefore you're
Right.
screwed. She's screwed. You said she might even had some alcohol in her breath, or it looked like she might have been drunk.
She didn't.
But
She didn't look sober. I'll say that.
well, this morning we've got a dumb. It's a doozy. So let's take a look. So our dumb moment of the week, this actually took place in 2016. Mr. Jared Porter was fired yesterday by the New York Mets because he sent over 60 explicit photos of himself, both clothed and unclothed, to an unresponsive a reporter who was new to the Major League Baseball. Obviously she did not like that. She didn't want them. And he kept sending these pictures to her, even though she had never shown any interest in him at any point in time. So we call him the dumb moment of the week because what is wrong with people?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I gotta say this. If you're a guy out there, I can tell you firsthand, nobody wants to see that.
No.
So don't send it in a text message to anybody. Like, just don't do. Like, don't do it. Like, I don't know. I mean, what? I don't. Nobody wants to see it. So let's
Well,
start there.
that region is for procreation. It is not pretty, right? Let's start with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's take a serious look at this. I'm pissed off about stupid shit like this. I don't like the term toxic masculinity at all.
Okay.
I think it's overused. I think it's used too broadly. But at the same time, it's dipshits like this jackass right here is the reason that guys get labeled as toxic, right? And misogynist and all this other stuff is because of jackasses like this that don't respect other human beings.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I have never, even when I was a teenager, never had an idea of doing some dumb shit like this. I don't get it.
Well,
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, what the difference between today, and I don't want to cut you off here, and I'm sorry about that, but I'm looking at this and saying, I mean, going to the bathroom in public is like a crime.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
I mean, if I were to go to the bathroom in public, that's a crime. Right. That's a misdemeanor. Yeah. And actually, I think it's actually a sex offender crime. Here, you've got someone sending these pictures, which, I mean, I don't know how that's not a crime. I don't think it's actually considered a crime right now, or maybe, I don't know. I might have to look the laws up. But again, the fact that this is even happening, you know.
Exactly.
Hey, you do it. If someone tells you to, and you're in a relationship with them, great.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
More power to you guys. Your relationship is fantastic. But guys, don't send those things without provocation. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't get it. I'm sorry.
There's a legal term called consent for a reason, right?
Yes.
Consent. It's just crazy.
And I think it's important that we talk about this because obviously we're in this women in business series and we have women on the show. And you know what? I'm sorry, but damn it, guys, keep it in your pants. Stop taking pictures of yourselves. No one wants to see it. Keep it to yourself. I'm sorry. I'm going on we're both on these rants right now. You're right. It makes us look bad. And I said this to thank God I'm not dating anymore. Thank God I don't have to be in the dating world. Because my goodness, I mean, if I have to compete with that, I don't even know what.
Well, it doesn't seem like the pool should be too hard to pick up. Good God, that's our competition.
I'm sorry. Well, guys, that was the dumb moment of the week. Stop taking pictures of yourselves. Don't be dumb. Be better. Chivalry. Open the car door. Send beautiful flowers. That's what needs to happen. Even if they don't want the flowers, that's much better than the other thing. So
that's not illegal.
No, that was dumb. Oh boy, we go on and on and on about this kind of stuff, man. Well, hey, if people keep doing dumb stuff, I'll have to talk about next week, which is, I guess, good, okay, too, I guess. But
we need
anyways, content. I know, right? Well, hey, we're about to hop into our first segment here. 6 ways to reboot the brain due to COVID-19 and what happened in 2020. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at The Hard Road and our addiction show, which both premiere tonight here at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock right here on the Open Road Network.
Hey, I'm Matthew James. People call me Matt Man. I was told to do a journal, but I don't like writing stuff down. And I've spent many years letting my mouth get me in a lot of trouble, so now I'm going to use it to get out of trouble.
Everyone, and welcome to the Battling Addiction podcast. My name is Todd, and I'm here with Steve and Chrissy. Forward to being with everyone every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Again, this is live, so what you're seeing right now is what we're doing. That's what live means, in case anybody didn't know that. So we're live.
So each and every Wednesday night here, we have two shows with a very powerful message. They both go live here on the Open Road Network. At 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Matthew James talks about his journey from addiction to recovery in his early sobriety. Right now, he's on day 22 of his sobriety. That's part of the Hard Road Live at 8 o'clock. And then we do our weekly recap show, like I said, live tonight. But they actually do daily vlogs. So it's a daily vlog journal that goes every single day on the YouTube channel at the Hard Road. And then at 9 p.m., we welcome Todd, Chrissy, and Steve to discuss their long battle from addiction to recovery. They all have over 5 years of recovery under their belts. It's still a battle that never ends. So that's tonight at 9 p.m. right here on the Open Road Network. 6 ways to reboot your brain. Now, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, and we actually had some fun because Ashley was part of this. And I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit here when we have her on here in a little bit. But, there's no doubt that 2020 was difficult for everyone, tragic for many. But now vaccines against COVID-19 are finally being administered, so giving a much-needed hope of return to a normal and happy 2021. However, months of anxiety, grief, and loneliness can easily create a spiral of negativity that's hard to break out of, and that's because chronic stress changes the brain. And sometimes when we're low, we have no interest in doing the things that could actually make us feel better. Like, for example, I have no interest in eating better. I love eating a McDonald's burger, a cheeseburger. I love the fact that I don't move most of the day. If I move at all, from about here down, I'm pretty skinny looking, but down below, it's nothing but havoc. But anyways, we're going to talk about this right now. So it says step 1 here, and I just put a link, by the way, for all of you watching in the comment section, theconversation.com, 6 ways to reboot your brain. It's an article I found here the last couple of days. But it says the first one, it says here, be kind and helpful. So, being generous. I mean, I'll tell you this right now. Christmas for me is very, very stressful because you're going out there and you're having to buy gifts for your kids, and you're buying all these gifts. But the wonderful thing about Christmas for me is when I actually get to see them open the presents up. That's like where it all kind of like comes together. Like the other day we were standing in line getting groceries for something, and there was a lady behind us, and she had 2 items. She's buying like herself a lunch. It looked like she had like a steak salad, looked awesome, by the way, and a meatloaf. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I got this, right? We just bought it for her, right? I'm not sure how much it changed her day, but it made my day a lot better. I felt good about it, right? I was being generous. And sometimes I don't necessarily need to see her be excited about it, but nonetheless, be kind and helpful and be generous. Those are all things that are great. What do you think, Rob?
Well, giving is more about yourself than it is the other person. It's always good to do something for someone else, but people don't understand the energetic effect it has on your own brain. That's a huge stimulus. When you do something for somebody with no intentions of getting something back, I don't think there's a better feeling than doing that.
Yeah.
And like you said, Christmas this year, I struggled all season long, frustrated. Wasn't happy with the way 2020 went, and just kind of wanted to get the year over with. So I wasn't even really into Christmas until about the 22nd, 23rd, when I saw all the stuff I had to wrap and had to get it done, and it was kind of this, oh God, But as soon as I got into it and really started digging in, it hit me. I'm like, all right, we're doing this. This is for the kids. It has nothing to do with me. Christmas is about everybody else. And I went into that provider mode, and it just became natural, and I just enjoyed the rest of the season,
Yeah.
But it took me till 2 days before for that to happen. It's frustrating.
Well, it is, and obviously, volunteering is part of this process too. And they talk about how volunteering is a great way. Again, being kind and being helpful. That can mean a lot of things. That could be you helping someone to the door, opening the car door for somebody, whatever the case. But putting groceries in the backseat of the car for them, whatever the case might be. But that helps because that positivity helps influence the brain.
Definitely.
The next one is exercise. As I told you before, I'm pretty stagnant throughout the day. I don't move except to get water because I'm at my computer for like 16 hours a day. It sounds nuts, but that's where I'm at right now. So I have to do a better job of exercising. But exercising, obviously, I'm sure Ashley can touch on this when she comes on here. I know you can as well. But there are things that that all of this activity will do that creates these endorphins in your brain that just allow you just to feel better.
Right.
You feel shitty pretty much doing it, but afterwards you feel great.
Energy is misunderstood in the mainstream.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't create energy. Movement actually is what creates energy in your body.
Yeah.
So if you sit still for too long, those calories turn to fat because there's nothing else for them to be used for. The body doesn't want to turn calories to fat. The body doesn't want you to get fat. But if you're going to sit on your ass all day and not make any effort to get your muscles moving, which is how you generate energy and generate endorphins and everything else, you're on a slow spiral to death, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me though, I mean, I do like the muscle things with my stomach. I go in and out. does that count at all or no?
Well, get that balance seat that I'm sitting on right now. That'll work your core at least while you're sitting there all day.
This leads into the next one, which is eat well. Okay, so I'll tell you what I had yesterday for breakfast. I didn't have anything.
Confession time.
And then I had Hungry Howie's for lunch, and then we had tacos for dinner. Now they were homemade tacos, so I mean there is some health to that. There was but that was my meal yesterday. I might have
Hail Mary, Hail Mary.
Hey, I'm just, again, I'm not saying you should live by me. I'm just saying that these are the things they say you should do. And I'm going to try and do some of these things right away. Others might take me some time, clearly.
That's the thing I struggle with, talking about this whole list is I've been in low points, and I was in low points throughout 19 and 20. But I understand that I was not to that point where it would be labeled clinical depression or, I don't have suicidal thoughts. I never do, despite Facebook warning me on some of my posts. But true story. We'll save that for another day. But
they send you a warning?
I've never been in that position where I've had to seek medical attention for my outlook on life, and that's what I feel depression really is. And I feel terrible for people that go through that. And, I've been close, but I've never experienced that. And for us to sit here and talk about this list and how important this stuff is for us, I can't imagine the levity of what this list could do for people that struggle more than we do,
Well, yeah. And I think like anything else, I mean, I know this. I know that when I eat crappy food, I feel crappy. There's no question about it. So, I mean, I know that when I eat better, I feel much better. So I know that. I think the biggest thing for me and the biggest thing for a lot of people is that time. It takes time to prepare. I know that for a fact when Ashley's on here, Ashley does a lot of pre-planning of her meals throughout the week. So she's probably going to talk about that a little bit and talk about how that's a lot of time. But it's Sunday. Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, she's going through and meal prepping and planning for the entire week. That takes time. If you don't have the time, you got to make the time. And I know Ashley will probably tell me, John, you can make time. Come on now. I mean,
there's always time. So everybody gets 24 hours, John.
But I don't have time, actually. But anyways, keep socially connected. Keep socially connected is the next one. Now I do a pretty good job with this. I mean, I'm on Facebook and, I talk to my kids and my friends, but according to this, it says loneliness and social isolation is prevalent across all ages, genders, and cultures, further elevated, obviously, by the COVID-19. One recent study showed that there were negative effects of COVID-19 isolation on emotional cognition. But this effect was smaller in those that stayed connected with others during lockdown. So obviously being socially connected is a good one. Learn something new. That's good. See, I like to read. So I'm reading new books, but learn something new. I mean, that's cool.
Absolutely. I mean, anytime you challenge yourself to do something that you've never done before, that's always an endorphin rush, even if it sucks. If I got to go out and clean the backyard, it sucks. But once I'm out there and I'm moving, I actually really enjoy it. And
are you saying clean the backyard is like learning something new for you?
No, I'm saying that you only do it once a year, so you forget, and you have to go back out and remember, where you're putting the leaves and all the dumb shit. So I have to relearn a lot of stuff because my memory's not that good.
No, I get it.
Maybe some people don't have that.
So sleep properly. That's one thing that when we're stressed out, it's hard. I'll tell you right now, when I'm, like last night, I didn't go to bed till it was almost 1 a.m. And obviously I get up on show days like today, I get up at 4 a.m.
Right.
So for me, I got up, it was 3 hours ago, 5 hours ago I got up, but I got 3 hours of sleep last night. But, and then tonight I'll crash and I'll go to bed quite early tonight because there's not much going on after the clock. But anyways, I know sleep properly is really, really important. If you're not getting enough sleep, that just makes it a whole lot worse. And obviously during all this, if you're not doing the other 5 things right, then the sixth one will I guess put you to an end, put you to an early grave.
I will say that I can appreciate anybody who had a child in the last 18 months. Having older kids doing the Zoom thing for school, it's a little frustrating, but you get through it. My big struggle, especially in the last 2-3 months, has been my 1-year-old who doesn't like to sleep all night. And I'm one of those guys. You give me 4 hours of uninterrupted sleep, and I'll be fine. I can do that for weeks. I can go 4 hours of dead sleep, get up, do my thing. But waking up once, twice a night because the baby has, teeth that she's fighting, or she's got a snotty nose or something, she won't sleep well. That the last 2 months is just destroyed my energy levels. So I appreciate the sleep thing, not because I get a lot of it, but because I struggle to get good quality sleep consistently.
Yeah, that's why we stopped having kids like 7 years ago.
Smart man.
Like there was a point in time my wife was like, "John, I want to have another one." I'm like, "Yeah, hell no." I'm
I like to sleep.
No, I want to sleep. It's just like, I mean, like, because you get into a rhythm,
Right.
you have, and this is a whole other conversation for a whole other day, but like a rhythm. I mean, you get one down. Once one is down, then you add in the second one. That's life changing. By the time the third one comes around, it was kind of like, whatever. I mean, this is nothing. Clearly, she's our most difficult one, little Zoe. She's got the craziest attitude. That's because we just didn't give a shit for most of it.
You get exhausted by 3.
Brianna, she's our most like confident. She's like all together. After that, it's all downhill. The more kids come in, you gotta spread your time around 33%.
Crazy,
right,
man. Crazy.
So, well, I mean, hey, if you want to read this article, again, I put it in the link, and it's 6 ways to reboot your brain. It's common sense stuff. It's nothing crazy, terrible, and things you should be doing anyways. But focus on it, and if you focus on these things, according to this article, you'll have a better outlook for 2021. You'll be more positive, have more energy, be more fit, be healthier, and you probably won't be a dick. So maybe that's what we should be putting out there. It's just 6 ways to reboot your brain so you're not a dick on Facebook and social media. Well, anyways, we're going to move in here. We're going to welcome Ashley Baumann here to the show here in just a second. But before we do that, let's take a look at some of the other shows here we have on our network.
Welcome to the Get Focused podcast, a show with stimulating conversation about optimizing our human potential for those who think outside of the box. You'll hear thought-provoking conversation designed to help you blow past your obstacles and create strength and motivation in everything you do. Now, it's time to start thinking outside of the box. It's time to get focused.
I had experienced something pretty traumatic back in September, late August, early September, Labor Day weekend to be specific, of 2019. A little over 16 months ago to be exact, about 500 days, and give or take a day. And I lost my teenage son, and he was my best friend. He had lived with me the last 9 months of his life, 100%.
Well, Miss Ashley Baumann, welcome to the Open Road Sales Podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you, and like we do every week, we have a guest on our show. We like to open just say, hey, why don't you tell us and our viewers about who you are, what you do, and tell us about Ashley.
Yeah, so I am an online health and wellness coach, and I really focus on helping women find the me time that they deserve to get healthy, fit, and strong. I also have a team of coaches who do what I do, and I mentor them in their business, and I share that on social media. I'm also a wife to my college sweetheart, Billy, and we have our first daughter. We just had her last year. She's about to be 1 year old, so I'm a mom too.
Well, and Rob just had commended anyone that's had a child in the last 18 months. That was directly correlated to you. We haven't had one in some, 96 months.
Especially the first one. That's even more interesting.
It was definitely an interesting time to become a parent for the first time. Let me tell you that.
So before we go any further, what I like to do is, hey, if you're watching the show right now, Ashley Bauman's part of this process. If you have a question for her at any point in time during this show, please don't forget to just hit a comment button on any one of our channels, and we'll go ahead and respond to it. Ashley will respond to it. Robert and I will respond to it, and we'll go from there. So your mother, you're a health and wellness coach. We just talked about rebooting your brain, and pretty much all those things you do every single day. Been doing those things for the last 2 years. So what advice do you have for someone today who's, like me, who doesn't do any of that stuff?
I think honestly, starting with one thing on the list, not trying to do all six because that's going to be way too overwhelming. So just pick whichever one you want to start with first. So if it is healthy eating, just focusing on that and starting with like one meal a day.
That's not gonna be John's first.
I'll do the sleeping one first. I'll guarantee the sleeping.
Okay. Well, yeah, whatever it is, I mean, just pick that first and, look up as many things as you can about that one topic. Seek out someone who is doing that really well and ask them for help in your life or on social media or wherever you find them, podcast or videos or Instagram.
That's great advice. Because I'll tell you right now, like I didn't think about that. I didn't think about sleep studies are good though too. I guess to having a sleep study done for yourself, but that's a good point. I mean, they often tell you that, like when you're talking about fixing your credit, for example, they don't say go fix the biggest one, go find the smallest one, start there, and just kind of build your way up. So it makes sense. Start with one thing and instead of all six. I like that. That's good. Okay, so 9 years ago, you graduated college. You went into email marketing in the corporate world. And were safe, comfortable at doing that, and then decided to walk away from that and start your own business in health and wellness coaching. What led you to that decision?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was with the same company right out of college for 6.5 years, almost 7. And I worked my way up into a manager role there. And at one point, I would say probably after the 5th year, I was starting to do health and wellness coaching on the side, and I really enjoyed it. But I never thought like, oh, this could be my career at first. I just was like, this is something fun to do in my spare time. And then I started to like love it more and more, think about it all the time, look forward to getting off work so I could work on the coaching side. And I started to just really realize that my corporate job was no longer serving me. It was, it served a purpose for those 5.5 years or whatever to get me, to where I was, but I was no longer loving doing it. I didn't feel like it was meant for me to, long term if I thought about the future. And so I started, really thinking about, okay, maybe I can do the coaching full time. And I think I was turning 30. It was my 30th birthday was coming up, and I just was kind of thinking about like the next decade of my life and what I wanted it to look like. And I knew right then and there, like I had to, take the leap, and corporate America was not for me anymore. And I wanted to do this full time. So talked with my husband about it because he actually was doing the same thing and starting his business. And then, so we kind of did it together, which was a little crazy. I will not lie about that, but it did help both of us actually do it, because we were like, okay, if you can do it, I can do it. Let's do it together. And so it's been 2 years that I've done health and fitness coaching full time. Been my own boss. 2 years last week, actually. And honestly, thanks. And I honestly don't regret it for a second. It was the best decision I ever made. And
Awesome.
Well, that's great. I've noticed over the years, I studied health and wellness, and I'm kind of a nut about it. Although I don't always practice everything. I have bad habits like everybody, and it's that I've been working on changing those. But most people that become successful in what you call it a walk away transition, right, where you're completely changing what you're doing, it's got to be all in. You can't work your 9 to 5 and come home at night and try and focus on doing something else. And that's really been what has been the struggle with working on the brand that I've been working on for health and wellness over the last 6 years. Is I'm so buried in the manufacturing industry and doing my normal, daily thing and paying it back to the manufacturing community, which is vital to this country, that it's just, I haven't had the focus and the time to really just go, okay, it's time to go all in on this and do it. And that's obviously what you did. And how was that first like 6 months to a year of actually making that decision? It had to have been tough.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely went back and forth before I made the decision, and then when I finally did, it was definitely scary. And I will say, I probably would have done the first year differently.
Mhm.
I wasn't as structured. I didn't really have a plan. I kind of just was winging it, and so I feel like I kind of fell short of some of my goals because, again, I
Sure.
just kind of went with it and
Yeah.
took the leap. But like, so I probably would have had more of a plan and structure before. But at the same time, that might have stopped me from actually
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
through with it. So yeah, there was definitely a lot of ups and downs. I will say now, just finishing up the second year was much better
Sure.
in all areas, in all ways. So I think the first year was really like stumbling and failing forward and learning as
Yep.
I go.
Yep.
But again, it was worth it.
Well, Mike Tyson says that everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face, right? And
Yeah.
when you're making a complete life change like this, you're leaving the corporate world, you're going out on your own, you're walking away from a digital tech industry and walking into health and wellness. This isn't a small transition. It's not like one day you woke up and said, "Hey, I want to do my own email marketing company, and I'm going to go start it because that's what I'm good at." When you jump in something like this full in, you don't know what to plan for. I think that's the biggest problem
Mhm.
that startups have. If they're not in something they're already doing, taking something you're good at and learning the financials and the HR and all the stuff that goes along with having your own business, that's one thing. But to just walk away from something, start something completely new, you don't know how to plan for that. You have to jump in and start making decisions, and you come back up out of the water at some point, and you look back and say, I could have done this different, but it wouldn't have got me to where I am right now. And where I'm at is where I need to be. Right.
Right. Exactly.
So what's a couple of those things that you could have done different? I mean, for someone else trying to do this, what would you recommend they look for?
So I feel honestly, when you become your own boss, you don't have anyone else to answer to but yourself. So you really have to create structure around your day and hold yourself accountable to that. Because I noticed when I look back, I feel like I just was like, I have all day to do everything. So then you just put off and put off and put off, and you're not as productive. You're not as
Yeah,
productive as when you had only a limited amount of time in the day to do something.
correct.
So
Yep.
honestly, becoming a mom actually made me so much more productive and focused and structured. So
Yeah.
it was like a double blessing because it was a blessing for my business too, because I was like, okay, now I'm back to only having a certain window of time to do things.
Sure.
So
Sure.
let's get on a schedule.
Yeah, I think lack of efficiency is a big struggle for anybody starting out. It doesn't matter where you start. You have to find that groove, get in the groove, and start plowing that path, right? And then
Mhm.
once you're in there, it becomes habit and whatever. That I agree. Anyone who doesn't have kids probably doesn't understand completely what you just said,
Right.
but I will absolutely second everything you said. Thankfully my wife is around to handle that stuff. Because I'm not sure I'd have all 5 kids, but
So, Ashley, I mean, I'll tell you from my point of view, the multi-level marketing type stuff can turn people away.
Mhm.
It can turn family away and friends because there's a ton of them out there, and everybody I think nowadays is getting hit by one thing or another from a family member. It could be Girl Scout cookies, Boy Scout stuff. It could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, did you get any kickback from friends or family? You doing this versus something else? As far as starting your own business.
That was something that before I told everyone that I was going to go full time and leave my job and my career path, I definitely was super nervous about what family and friends were going to say. And that was definitely, I remember I kind of waited till the last minute to tell people. And I actually ended up getting really positive feedback. I think it was because that year leading up to that decision, I really was going all in with the coaching side. So people saw how passionate I was about it, how much it meant to me. And I have helped family and friends, of course, but really my focus was more on helping and connecting with new people, and especially, like I said, specifically women. So I was really focused on helping those people out there that I was meant to help. You know, we all say, like, in the social media world and in the fitness world, like, you have your people like that you're meant to mentor. And so I think I just focused on them and pouring into them and helping them. And what I didn't realize until after was that my family and friends saw that. They saw how much it mattered to me and the difference it was making on my life and the difference I was making in those people's lives. And so they were actually really supportive. I think too, just like making sure that they understand, especially like if your spouse. I always made sure like my husband like understood like the network marketing side and how it worked and how you know make an income, and I showed him a bunch of the things that I was doing, and so he was super supportive because he actually understood what I was doing and what was going on. So like I always tell my coaches with their spouses, especially, like, you need to show them what you're doing. You need to like be open to communication and answering questions they have so that they understand.
Oh, very good. So first off, Sarah Ellis Martin said, "Go Ashley, you're an amazing coach and mentor." So we want to give a shout out to her.
She's one of my coaches.
Maybe she'll stick around and help out in the Beat the Rob like we had last week. We had like call a friend.
She's actually she's watching from Scotland. She's one of my
cool.
coaches from the UK.
Sweet.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Sweet.
cool. Well, I don't know. Hey, you're Irish, so why don't you say something?
We don't get along well with the Scottish.
All right, so here's our final question. You know, you mentioned being a new mom, and I'd imagine a lot of viewers, both men and women, would find it possibly difficult to balance what you're doing on a daily basis. What advice do you have for them?
That's a really good question. Honestly, especially if you're a new parent, I really told myself beforehand and whatnot that I just needed to give myself grace at the beginning, and whatever I could get done, I could get done. Whatever I didn't get done, oh well. So at the beginning, I didn't. There's only so much I could get done because of sleep deprivation, and you know, you have limited time. I was learning. I didn't really know what the heck I was doing at the beginning, which nobody does when they become a parent. But also, as my daughter's gotten older, I haven't been afraid to ask for help. So luckily for me, my parents live close by, and they help watch her a lot, so I can get stuff done, whether it be for the business or even just around the house. My husband will help when he's around on the weekends or at night. So I just, getting help when you can. And then again, just using your time wisely, like getting up early if you have to. I got up early this morning so I could work out before this and everything. So, or I honestly, at the beginning, when she was younger, I was staying up late, even though I was so tired. Like the only time I could get anything done was when she went to sleep for the night. So you kind of just have to find where your time is. But then also, I think moms, especially if they're watching right now, like they are so bad at asking for help, and like it's not shameful, it's not wrong. And if you have to do daycare, if you have to hire a nanny or whatever, like it is what it is. But for me, it's just having family help when they can, and just making sure I use that time very wisely when they do help.
Well, I think that's one of the misunderstood things about the MLM industry. Everybody tells you, that's just a scam. It's a scheme. It's a pyramid. You're wasting your time. Go get a real job. And it's a real job. It's a real job. If you commit to it and that's what you're going to do for a living, there is money to be made in it. You're not scamming other people out of their money. And that's what people don't understand about the MLM industry. Most, probably all of the supplements I use, detox products, pretty much everything I put in my body outside of regular food comes from an MLM or an affiliate marketing system. Mm-hmm. And that's not because I'm gung-ho, multi-level marketing focused. It's because their products freaking work. If you're going to go to Walmart or CVS and buy something off the shelf, you're going to get exactly what you pay for. You spend $10 on a bottle of vitamins, you're going to get a $10 bottle of vitamins that cost $1.50 to make. And people don't realize when you spend, $90, $100, $125 on a supplement package, that $60 to $70 went into manufacturing that product.
Mm-hmm.
It is a small percentage compared to what a Walmart or a CVS actually makes on their product. If you look at the actual chain that it goes through, you're getting about 10% of what you spend on a product at Walmart versus an MLM company that puts research and patents and everything into what they do. You're getting 50 to 60% of what you spend on that is coming out in real product. And when you spend $100 at Walmart, you're gonna get 10. And when you spend it with one of a good MLM company that's focused on research, you're gonna get $70 or $80 a good product out of that. And that's a big difference in your wellness, right?
I got to give a shout out. I got to give a shout out to your husband, Mr. Billy Baumann. Got to get Rob on some Beachbody products.
Well, I mean, honestly, what you're saying, like, I could preach about that forever because our products are literally go through hundreds of quality tests. Literally, the sourcing of the ingredients is bar none the best. And then again, they go through so many quality checks before they even get packaged and sent out to the customer. So yeah, I totally 100% agree with you. And it's not the same quality that you would get at Walmart, like you said.
No.
And that's why the price is different. But also with Beachbody, they're not only getting the products, they're also getting me as their coach and their mentor. I have online accountability support groups that are run every single month, every single day of the year, pretty much, for them to have as a support group and whatnot. So you get way more than just the product that you would buy at CVS or Walmart. So I totally agree with you. And then the one thing I have to say about the pyramid scheme that gets me every time is literally if I look at the corporate structure at my old job, it was a pyramid. And I literally,
but you're on the bottom row, not on the top, right?
You know what I mean? True. So it's like corporate America is a pyramid. So and pyramid schemes are illegal. So anything that's actually Beachbody's been around for over 20 years. The coaching network has been around for over 11 years. Yep. If it was a scam, it would have been shut down.
The SEC does not play around with anything related to MLM. You have to jump through about 5 times the hoops as a standard corporate business to operate an MLM in this country. So anybody that thinks that an MLM is a scam, you haven't done your research and you're too close-minded.
Amen.
Okay, I'll do my research. Okay, Rob, stop yelling at me.
Put down the cheeseburger, John. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So, Ashley, are you ready to embarrass Rob?
Sure.
All right, we're gonna hop into Beat the Rob right now. Okay, so this is Beat the Rob. All right, this is 5 questions. Rob's already been asked the questions, and Rob's hit 0 for 5 today. So he didn't answer any of them correctly. So
horrible.
Wow.
I don't even know where to begin. You could win this with the first question. We're still gonna go through all 5 questions because it's fun.
I'll be disappointed if you don't beat me on the first question.
I know now I feel actually more pressure to that.
Hey, I gotta play a psychology game because I sure as hell didn't perform.
Well, so here it is. The question number 1: which actor or actress is killed off in the opening scene of the movie Scream?
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, what's her name? I don't even know if it's her. Courtney Cox?
No, Courtney Cox made it to all the movies. It was Drew Barrymore.
Oh, I didn't even know she was in it. I don't like scary movies, if I'm being honest.
It's fine. Rob didn't even answer the question, so you gave me
I didn't
name.
even answer. Nope.
Okay. Which film did Steven Spielberg win his first Oscar for Best Director?
Oh, man, these are tough.
I know.
I feel like I haven't watched movies in forever. If it was a Netflix question. Oh my gosh. Titanic?
Nope, he did not. He did not direct that. That was actually what's his name?
Cameron. James Cameron.
Yeah, that's James Cameron. It's okay though. It's okay. You still have opportunity here. You still have an opportunity to still win.
I didn't gain.
What
any
was the
ground.
answer?
Schindler's
was it?
List.
Schindler's
List.
I've never seen that, but I know
You need to
I
watch
should.
it. It's a really good movie.
I know.
What was the first feature-length animated film ever released?
Oh my gosh. I
It's
should
a
have
movie, by the way.
brushed up on my cinema. It was something with Mickey Mouse, wasn't it?
Yeah, he actually said Steamboat Willie. That's not true because that was not considered. That was a short. This is
That
considered
was
a
a
feature
short,
film.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Damn it.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Snow White,
Oh,
really?
crap.
Yeah, that's what it says. Hey, I'm
I
just going off
didn't
what
know
it
that.
I
says.
wouldn't have, wow, I wouldn't have guessed that, even if I hadn't jumped Steamboat Willie.
It's okay. It's okay. We still
Well,
have an opportunity here.
It might be a tie.
What, what MTV music show premiered in 1998, hosted by Carson Daly?
Oh my gosh. I used to love this show. TRL.
Yes, that's correct. Rob picked Behind the Music, which that's VH1.
I gotta
Yeah.
quit. I gotta quit reading these questions and responding while I'm driving. My brain does not work when I'm on the road.
All right, the last we have a tiebreaker too. We'll ask that question as well. How many regular season games are played in the NFL?
Like per team or all of
Yeah,
them?
well, yeah. I mean, not it's like how many games are played in the NFL per team.
By,
Yeah, so if
by
you,
each team, yeah.
16?
that's correct. Rob got that wrong.
The bye week screwed me up.
I like football, so.
And this last one's gonna be it's a doozy. How many people make up the U.S. Electoral College?
Oh.
Oof.
Ew. How many people? I have no idea. 250.
Nope, it's 538.
Okay. Yep.
I don't even know how that even. I don't know how that.
It's a
how that
random
number came
number.
about.
Very random number. Rob had 520. So, but hey, but you know what that means though? Rob, you lost, sir, and Miss Ashley Baumann won. Yes.
Woohoo!
Woo! Ashley won. She beat the Rob. I love it. I love it. Every time he loses, I feel better about myself.
Let's do a beat the John one of these weeks and see how that goes.
Yeah. Flip the
I mean, if
script.
you want to. I don't know. I mean, I'll be like, I'll win every one of them.
Yeah, probably because you've already read all the questions.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, Ashley, thank you very much for participating in that. At this point of our show, this is where we like to ask our guests to what we call land the punch. This is the opportunity for you to leave a lasting impact on our show forever. And hopefully our viewers will take something away from your message. And we tend to carve this out and put it out on Facebook and all of our social media. So, what do you have that you think would leave a lasting impact on the people who are watching this? No pressure.
Well, I know with the theme of the boxing, I wanted to leave with a Rocky quote because I love the movies and just the persona and everything like that. So part of one of his quotes is, it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. And so wanted to leave with that.
That's a good one. So the Rocky quote is, it ain't, one more time.
It ain't how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Nice. I like that. That's a good one. It is, and it's true. Adversity is not about, I think everyone can take a punch. It's a matter of what you do once you've gotten punched.
Exactly.
Do you lay down on the ground or do you get back up and fight some more? And that's, I think, something that I think as a whole in our country, we've forgotten that grit. I think we've lost our way with the grit. I think we get knocked down and we start blaming others for getting punched instead of actually saying, you know what? Yeah, I got punched. So what? Who cares? Move on. Let me see if I can punch somebody back.
Right.
And that's the part that I think is a really, really missed message in today's world. I mean, I just got done coaching high school soccer, and I'll tell you right now, that is one quote that I don't think that the players that I even coached had a hard time following through on. They couldn't do it. They didn't understand it. So it's a great, great quote. So thank you, Ashley, for saying that. Now, normally we go on to the next segment. It's 9:53 here this morning. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is play our next commercial, wrap this show up. So stay with us for a few minutes while we do that. Okay, Ashley?
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right. So tonight, not tonight, but tomorrow and over the weekend, we've got some great new shows coming out. Not new shows, but new episodes of Family Trivia, as well as Raw and Unfiltered. So take a look.
James Schofield. I'm going to be giving you all the information that you want to know about books, movies, sports, news, politics, video games, you name it, we're going to be covering it here. It is The Tap.
And this is something that first off, the tap comes out every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. here on the open road, and Family Trivia is every Friday at 8 p.m. And that's fun. We actually give away $100 cash to the winning family. And last week, the Quinn Wright's family won. He's been a guest on our show here in the past, and will be a host on a future show here in the near future. So check that out on Fridays at 8 p.m. right here on the Open Road Network. Now, your husband had a comment to make, and I completely and utterly agree with it. That's because we live in a world that's soft. And that's a true statement. I mean, we live in a world now where, it's easy to blame, it's easy to point fingers and not take responsibility for your actions. And when you are getting knocked down, what are you going to do to get back up? It's all about excuses, and it's all about not trying to find solutions to the problems that we have. I think it's parenting. I think me, even as a parent, I'm guilty of it. We've softened our own kids, even though I don't want to, but it happens.
I've heard my kids whine about some pretty stupid shit.
I think it's easier too. I think honestly, it's easier. I think it's easier for us as parents to say, you know what, whatever. When you get to that third kid, I mean, with our daughter Brianna, we were really tough, and we were really, we enforced a lot of things, and not saying we don't do those things now, but it's different now. It's like, okay, I told you were grounded for a day, but you're annoying me, so go get your device and go play. You know what I mean? Like, I told you no, but yet now I'm telling you yes, not 5 minutes later. We tend not to hold our ground anymore as adults. I think my parents were guilty of that too, but I just think that the way we live today, I mean, technology is right there at your fingertips. I mean, you can't get away from bullying. Bullying, when I was a child, and same thing with you, Ashley and Rob, is we didn't have to deal with it when we left high school or middle school. It was done.
It was over.
You might get a phone call. You might have something happen. Whatever. But now that's 100% of the time. If somebody doesn't like you and they're bullying you, it can be on for a very long time and never go away. So the psychology of what's going on in today's world is just very different, and we are soft. So it's just a really crazy world, and hopefully getting knocked down will get back up. It's a great quote. It's a great message from you, Ashley, so we appreciate that. So let's talk about what's going on here next week here on the Open Road. Next week, we're welcoming in Miss Tiffany Bryson. Tiffany we replaced Vanessa from last week. So Tiffany will be joining us here with her story here next week. And then obviously after that, we'll have we'll launch our February guest list, which is already set up and prepared for here for February. But again, I really enjoyed this series. I really enjoyed having deep conversations with our female guests, talking about their world, the world of business in their eyes, and their experiences. And Ashley, you today was no different, and super awesome of you to come on this show today and talk with us about that.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's great to be able to share my story and hopefully inspire other women to pursue that dream, that goal, that passion that they have. Yeah,
no, and hopefully we are able to do that, and hopefully, if they want to get in contact with you and they want to, have you as their coach, how do they do that?
I'm really on Instagram. That's like my main platform that you can find me and connect with me. And it's Ashley M. Baumann, because Ashley Baumann was taken. So Ashley M. Baumann is where you can find me on Instagram.
So I'm going to put that right now in the comments at Ashley M. Baumann.
Thank you.
On Instagram.
Yeah, it's good to see people. People need to personally brand themselves. And that's something that I talked about on my curbside chat series I was doing back in the spring, and we've even talked about on here that it doesn't, even when you're working for a company, you have a personal brand. People are going to know you.
Exactly.
And if you move from one position to another, they're still going to know you, and how you represented yourself for that previous company will make a difference on how you're accepted with a new company. And that personal branding, I think, is more important than ever, especially with all the social media going on now.
Yes.
No
Yeah. I
question
mean,
about it.
people are going to connect with you based off your likes, your interests, what you talk about, what you care about.
Right.
There, again, no question about that. So, thank you for watching. Thank you, Asher, for being part of this. Robert, man, it was episode number 14. Next week's number 15. Super excited about that. We're almost to 20. Another huge benchmark for us. But thank you for watching and listening to the Open Road Sales Podcast, presented by the Open Road Network, which premieres here every Wednesday live on YouTube and Facebook at 9 a.m. Like us, subscribe. If you haven't done so, please go on our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell at the top of the screen. That way you're notified every time we go live. Facebook is great, but we'd love to have you on YouTube as well. Also, don't forget we have Twitter. Make sure you tell your friends, your family, your coworkers about how great this show is and how great this podcast and our network is, because otherwise we won't grow. We need to grow. If you water it, we will grow. Watering is subscribing, people. All right. And again, obviously, don't forget the Open Road Network is here to motivate, inspire, challenge, and entertain every show that we bring to this network. My name is Jonathan Turner. This was Robert Gallagher, and our special guest this week was Ashley Baumann. We will see you guys all here next week on the Open Road Sales Podcast at 9 a.m. The Open Road Sales Podcast premieres every Wednesday live on Facebook and YouTube at 9 a.m. The Open Road Sales Podcast is all about sales process, all the way to the close and everywhere in between. The show has evolved since its first show back in October of 2020. We have guests from all different walks of life and backgrounds, both men and women, who are out there inspiring, challenging, motivating, and entertaining people all across the United States. So join Robert Gallagher and Jonathan Turner every Wednesday at 9 a.m. live on Facebook and YouTube. And don't forget to check out the Open Road Network on our YouTube channel, or follow us and like us on Facebook. And we'll see you here every Wednesday at 9 a.m.